Hi, Robert Hartline here with ShiftYourTime.com. Listen, in this video you're going to see in 30 minutes all the wonderful features and how to use Marco Polo. Now, if you're using it for business use, you're going to start learning some lessons that my company did over the last 2 years. Now, I will tell you, Marco Polo has changed my life. Our business went from 12 million in sales with 100 people all the way up to 100 million in sales with about 400 people. I work less now than I did before. And you know why? Because I can communicate more effectively with this. This is a tool, folks. Our face, our vocal tone, everything that goes with nonverbal communication, you get the face-to-face brilliant gift that Marco Polo gives us. So listen, if you're interested in learning how to use this for your business, I have a course that's coming out August 30th, and you can go to our website, shiftyourtime.com. Give us your information and we'll let you know when it's available. But here is how to use all the wonderful features of Marco Polo. Hi, Robert Hartline here. I'm going to show you how to use Marco Polo. Now, first things first, if you haven't downloaded Marco Polo, it's available in the App Store. Whether you have Android or iPhone, it's available right now. All you need to do is go to your App Store and type in Marco Polo. So you have it pulled up in the App Store, and you notice in my version, I can update my app. They are constantly updating the app. Today is July 28th, and 2 days ago they had an update. I'll update later, but I wanted to show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm going to click on the app. This is the main screen of Marco Polo. Now, as you can see, if you're logging in for the first time, you're not going to have any messages from people. That's cool. You'll make friends soon. But I'll tell you, all of these icons are individuals. Now, they're friends or colleagues or whatnot. But you'll notice the little new icon in the top right-hand corner telling you that you have new messages. Now, you can talk to people and you can talk to groups of people. Now, a group of people can be made up with your group that you built yourself, or you could be dropped into a group. So you may, in fact, notice one day you've logged into Marco Polo and you're suddenly in a new group. And you're suddenly getting notifications from those groups, and you're suddenly in their group and listening to what they have to say. Let's make our first Marco Polo together. So for this example, we're going to click on Grant. And you'll notice on the bottom of the screen, now I've already watched this Marco Polo to make sure it was legit for this video. But if I wanted to watch his video again, I just click on the video.
I didn't know if you were going to join on the financial call or if you were somewhere else. Give me a Marco, let me know. We're waiting just a couple more minutes.
Now, let's talk about the screen for a moment. Now, if I wanted to skip this message and make it go faster, because you're going to start to notice that sometimes you want to review a Marco Polo, but you don't want to review at the same speed. And then we have a fast button right here.
If you were going to join on the financial call or if you were somewhere else, give me just a couple more minutes.
Now, if I want to respond to Grant, I'm going to click the start button. And what that's going to do is going to activate my camera. Now, it's very important that when you record yourself, that you're going to be tempted to look at yourself talking. That's very natural. Try to think about looking at the eye of the camera and not yourself. In fact, I would even make a suggestion to go to an arts and crafts store and buy a little emoji sticker of a smiley face and put that right on the camera so you can actually focus and have your eyes drawn to that to know that you should be looking at the camera and not your face. And that would actually help you do less rambling while you're having conversations. But for this example, we're gonna talk back to the Grant. Hey Grant, good to hear from you. Hey, listen, I'm busy for the rest of the afternoon, but I will get back with you shortly. Now you notice I just pressed the stop key. Now when I press the stop key, it's already sending my video. I'm done. I can put my phone down. Now, if I would leave the phone, so you'll notice here, if I were to leave my phone on the counter and leave it open on that screen, if Grant sees that message and responds, it'll actually just start playing. So why is that important? Well, let's say for a moment that I'm a heating and air person and I'm asking another technician on how to fix that particular heating and air device. I may do a video showing the HVAC unit, hey, this is what it's doing, this is broken, this is the kind of unit it is. Can you tell me how to fix this part? If you put the phone down, you may just notice all of a sudden that they come back and respond to you and answer your question without holding the phone. Now, one thing that's important to understand is Marco Polo allows you to communicate with the speaker or using the earpiece. So if I were to listen to Grant's message again,
I didn't know if you were joining on the financial call.
when I put the phone up to my head, it automatically put the audio in the earpiece. So let's say I was in a meeting scenario and I didn't want everyone to hear Grant's conversation with me, I would be able to do that. Also, if you have a Bluetooth connected to your device, it'll connect through Bluetooth as well. Super easy to use, and it's a great way. Listen, I will tell you, the best investment you will ever make is in a pair of LG Tones headsets so you can listen to Marco Polos while you do other things around the house or around the office. Now, something else about Grant's message. Let's say for a moment that Grant was a little long-winded, and sometimes he tends to be that way. Now, if I press the fast forward button, I can fast forward that message and quickly get to the end of his message. Now, another thing it's important to note, when I'm playing a message, if I swipe left or right, I can skip 10 seconds or go back 10 seconds. So let's play this again.
Let me know where shortly.
So if you have a lengthy Marco Polo, and let's say you got distracted, you started on another task, you could quickly go in the middle of that Marco Polo without having to listen to that whole message again. Now, other things on the screen that are important. One, we have a little notes button in the bottom right-hand corner. The notes is super important. So let's say for a moment that you wanted to share a video that you saw online that pertained to something that was going on at work. Maybe it was a motivational video and you wanted to share with your team members. You can press the notes button and it's going to bring this, and I can copy and paste a YouTube video, a website link, or I could just simply write some notes. And this is a way to send a message to someone. Let's say they're in a meeting and you knew they were in a meeting but you didn't want to disturb them with a Marco Polo voice message. You may want to just go ahead and put a text message in there as well. And that could be a grocery list or items to pick up from the store, that kind of thing. Now, once you type in a message, hello, Grant, and you just press the send button. Now, we've sent a text inside of the Marco Polo app. Other things that are important on the screen are pictures. So let's say you took an image of something and you wanted to share that image with someone. So let's say for now, we are going to take a picture of something that I want to share. And let's say I'm going to share this image of me at the beach. Now, I have me at the beach. I could press the start button and actually talk over that image. So let's say I had taken a picture of, again, an HVAC unit. I want to explain how to fix it or whatnot, or I have some questions. I may take a photo of that and then talk about it. So when I press the start button, it's going to record audio of me talking over the picture. And it works the same as a video. You start to record it and then stop to stop it. So I'm not going to send him a picture of me at the beach. He don't want to see that, promise. All right, other things you see on the screen. You can also write text on here. Text is amazing. You can often write something on the screen to get the frame of mind of the person you're talking to start thinking. So think about it like this. It's Monday morning. You're talking to your new salesperson. You want to see him motivated, out there kicking booty, making sales for your organization. So you may say, make that money, son. Now, I've typed my message here. I can press record. And that could be part of what my message is to that person. And it could be a motivational quote. It could be just something to get their mind thinking. Or let's say you are assigning a task to somebody, you may actually put that in there. Or maybe even a few steps that you want them to take to get that step and that process taken care of. It could also act as a note function for yourself. So if you want to give 3 things that you want them to focus on, you may want to write those on the screen so when you talk about them, they're right in front of their face. Now we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go back here. Now, it also has the ability to draw. The other thing it has is, this is more fun than anything, is the ability to do crazy voices. So if I want to sound like a robot, I could sound like a robot. Hey, I can't make the meeting. Sorry, dude. Now, you'll notice I'm at a place where I don't have fantastic internet. In fact, I have nearly 3G speeds. And most of all, Marco Polo does pretty well with that. But always know that if you're in a low bandwidth situation and you're doing a lot of video, sometimes it's frustrating to wait for videos to download. So that's important to know. But this shows you a little status window, and it's already complete. But if I wanted to go and actually listen to myself.
Hey, I can't make the meeting. Sorry, dude.
So I don't know why you want to sound like a robot, but if you want to, you can. Now, other things you should know on the main screen is it's going to document all of your communication. And one little asterisk I'm going to put in all this, if you wouldn't let your mama watch the video, don't make that video. Hence, everything is documented. Now, if you record a video, now they can't download your video, but they could do a screencast or take another phone and record that. So it's very important to realize that your video is going out to one other person. What they do with it is probably their business. It's not easy to record a video you've already made. What is easy to do is to take a video you've already done and you can download it. So if I were to hold down, these are different things I can do with this Marco Polo that I've just created. I could make this as my tile chat. Now, also you'll see in here you have a place for forwarding. So let's say I did a video to someone, and you know what? That video would pertain to other people. I could forward that to someone else in my organization. And sometimes you're going to find yourself, you make a really awesome Marco Polo for somebody. Maybe it's super inspirational. Maybe it's just special and it just speaks to someone at that moment. You could forward that to other members of your team, and you can also save that polo, and it will save it as a video file, so maybe you could share it somewhere else. But most importantly, what's highlighted in red is delete this polo. That's important. That's important because you're going to find yourself recording a Marco Polo and go, why did I say that? You know what? It's not too late. Now, if you're recording a Marco Polo, an indication comes on the screen saying they're watching it, they're literally watching it, but they may not get to the point where you screwed up. So you can always delete it and start again. And you're going to find yourself deleting a lot of Marco Polos. Listen, practice will help you in communication. It's okay to screw up every now and then. But most importantly, if you're doing a little bit of experimentation, you're going to get better at this tool. Now let me show you some other functions of the app. Now on your screen you're going to notice a little camera selection button. Listen, when you're doing a Marco Polo and you're in an environment where words would work better with video, use the resources that you have and showcase your camera. So I'm going to take you on a little tour of our situation in recording our video. We're in Uvita, Costa Rica, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a Marco Polo to Grant and make him jealous that he is not here right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the start key. Hey Grant, I am showing some people how to use Marco Polo, and I'm going to try to make you a little bit jealous that you're not here in Costa Rica. So I'm going to press the camera switch button to go forward. This is my camera crew, and we're going to go outside. We had to do some recording inside because it's raining. And this is our view We're in the mountains of Costa Rica recording this Marco Polo course. What do you think? Listen, using video when you record a Marco Polo shows a lot of stuff. So imagine you're standing in front of a whiteboard and you have some notes with you, and you show those notes, or maybe you're sitting in front of your computer screen showing notes or a topic that you want to cover. Put words on the screen going along with your voice goes a long way in communicating your vision or what you want to achieve. So now I've sent that Marco Polo to Grant, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it because I don't want to make him feel jealous that he's not right here. So I'm going to go back here and delete. Something I didn't cover a moment ago, I talked about forwarding a message in Marco Polo. I can forward my own message, but I can't forward someone else's message. So that's very important to know. Now, other things in the app that you may need at some point, you'll notice if I click on Grant's name here, well, you'll notice it's going to say he was active 6 hours ago. That gives you an idea of the last time he's looked at his Marco Polo. But if I click on his name, I could start a group with him, or I could block him, or I could delete all his chats. If all my communication with Grant is irrelevant, I want to get rid of it, I could delete his chat. Now, that is Marco Polo with an individual. Now, let me walk you through communicating to groups of people. Now, in my organization, I have district managers that manage many retail locations. And I have my managers, my district managers, on a group Marco Polo. And you'll notice on the bottom here, these are all the communication between my members of my team. And if I were to start a Marco Polo group, and let's say I press record and I said to the team, guys, I would love an update today, and I would have put my phone down and left that screen on, it would autoplay anybody that responded to that. So that's how you can do a meeting within Marco Polo, and I'm going to talk about that more in depth later. But what I'm going to show you right now is how to create a group Marco Polo. And creating a group one is very easy. Now, one of the things that Marco Polo allows you to do is on the fly search someone to talk to them. Now, this is actually a fairly new feature, and before I'd have to go through all my people and figure out who I wanted to talk to, and I'd have to remember their face. Don't have to do that anymore. That's fantastic. I could instantly start a group by just clicking the search button and typing someone's name. Now, if I were to type in a name, now I have Jim I've typed in here. I can add other people. So let's say there was an issue or a challenge, or let's say I need to have a conversation with 3 people. Much like your email, you go to your email, you go to the to line, you enter the people that you want to be involved in the conversation. One thing that Marco Polo does not do, it doesn't have a CC or blind CC. You're talking to everyone, so everyone's going to hear, and everyone can respond. You can't limit people from responding or not. But you are able to talk to everyone at once. So if I was going to start a Marco Polo with Grant and Jim, now I have 2 people in a Marco Polo. Now if I were to go to start the chat, now I've created a group of 2 people. Now, one suggestion I have is whenever you do a conversation, name the conversation the issue or what the discussion is about. Now you may have a Marco Polo chat that's temporary. It's just, you need a question answered and it's done with. But you may find yourself using the same Marco Polo. We'll name that and put some structure around what the purpose of that Marco Polo is. Now, if I want to change the name, I just go over to the top here and I can change this name. And I'm going to call this leadership. Okay? And you'll notice that I have identifications here, notifications, group settings. Let me talk a little bit about notifications. I personally have all my notifications off. I don't want any other app giving me a notice of anything or anyone that's communicating. And if you're new to Marco Polo, that will probably be one of your biggest frustrations with the app when you start using it with a large team. you'll start getting a lot of notifications, and that might be a little bit annoying to you. So turn that off. You have that ability. It's up to you to turn it off, though. And then we have different settings. Let's talk about the group settings for a moment. It has a function to record a welcome message. Now, a moment ago, I talked about setting boundaries behind your Marco Polo group and what the purpose of the group is. Explain that, and you can do that by recording your own welcome message. And that welcome message could basically be say, hey, I've created this channel to talk about new leadership styles that we should talk about with the team, and I'm looking for some input on what type of leadership style we should work with. When you join the group, they're going to get to see that message and understand what they're supposed to be doing in that channel. So that's very helpful, and that's actually a new feature as well. So you'll notice on the top here as well, we have a thing that says restrict membership. When enabled, members can add or remove other members. Listen, when you start a new Marco Polo group, anybody in the group could jump in the group and go, you know what? I think Susie should hear this too because she's part of the problem. I think so-and-so needs to be part of this too. Obviously, there could be some downsides with that. So let's say you're talking about someone and then someone else, a member of the group, adds someone that really shouldn't be part of the conversation. Be aware of this. That's very important to understand who is allowed into that group. If you create a group, always restrict it, and only unrestricted if you trust the members to put people, the right people, in your group. So we'll get out of that screen here for a moment. Now, you'll notice on this screen, I can add more people here, but this is what I really love. Invite via group link. Why is that important? Well, you may have other people that are in the organization. Let's say you have a large team, and you have created a group to talk about sales skills. And there's many people in your organization that need to learn some new sales skills. So what you could do is create let's say a sales skills group, and go in here and invite via group. Take that group invite and share that with your entire organization. And they can all join that group and listen to those tips and tricks. Side note. When you invite someone to the group, there's no way to silence someone. So if you have someone with evil intent, or maybe they're just negative Nelly, you may not want to invite them to the group because they may be that kind of person. But here's what's awesome about Marco Polo. In email, it's super easy to hide behind an email and be super negative. In Marco Polo, when you're recording your face, it's a lot more difficult for people to actually get on camera and be naughty and mean and evil. So you don't see a lot of that in Marco Polo, but it is always possible. So if you do have someone that maybe is a negative Nelly, you may not want them in your group, and that's up to you. Other things that you can do in this screen for the group, if you see people in your group, it's possible to not be friends with someone in Marco Polo and still talk to them. If you find them in your group and they're here, you could actually reach out and talk to them one-on-one. And you'll notice I clicked on Grant's name. And let's say I want to make him a group admin so he can add and remove people because I want to assign this to someone else. I could do this. Often what I'll do is I'll start a group, let's say a coaching group, and I'm trying to build people up that are brand new in the organization, that I'm giving them extra tips and tricks on how to do their job more efficiently, maybe with leadership, maybe with sales skills or whatever. Often I'll create a group and then I'll reassign that to someone member of the team to kind of manage that group along. And I may move off to another group. Great thing about Marco Polo is don't limit yourself to your own organization. What do I mean by that? Let's say I've created this great leadership group. And you know what? I'm not honestly the leadership expert. But I found someone who is, maybe a coach, maybe someone outside the organization that I want to bring in and talk about some skills that I need them to learn. So what I may do is invite my coach to this link and have him part of my Marco Polo group to coach and train those people. Now, one thing I'll say about talking in a Marco Polo group, you're going to find that some people are going to be really quiet and really shy. And it takes a little bit of finesse to massage people to get comfortable to ask questions. So if you do start a Marco Polo group, you may find that it's necessary to start your group, maybe do your initial welcome message, and you try to get some engaged conversation. But this is what will typically happen, just like in a conference room, and you ask someone a question, what happens sometimes? You get silence, no one will speak. So what you can do in Marco Polo is just reach out to that person individually and pick one member and do a Marco Polo specifically for them and say, I may go to Grant and say, hey Grant, I know you got some questions, I know you're shy, help me out. I want you to ask this question, or do you have a question? Ask it in the channel for someone else to answer. And that is how you kind of start the process going, start them getting more comfortable. Listen, some of the advice I have about managing a Marco Polo group is you gotta have valuable content. It's no different than what you do on YouTube and watching videos. You have to make sure it's content that adds value to their day. You don't want to waste their day. So one other thing that I want to make sure you see, what happens in natural communication is if I talk to you, you're going to have a facial expression or you're going to have a response. It's called feedback. When Marco Polo, you also have feedback in the form of emojis. So let's say I were to watch a message. So here's my message from Grant. You're going to notice on the bottom side of the screen,
You were somewhere else.
this is how I can give a thumbs up, like I like what he said, I love what he said, I'm even a high five, or maybe just a smiley face. But that gives you the ability to high five someone or thank them for giving you some good content. Don't forget on your group Marco Polo to have the right image. You'll notice this is my coaching store coaching section, and I have a coaching corner image in that particular file. So that always helps people to identify with what that Marco Polo group is all about. Let's talk about settings. And settings is on the bottom right hand side of the screen, and this is how you can edit your image. Again, I'm always a believer in take a picture of what you're doing and constantly update that once a week to kind of showcase where you're at. This is what's going to show up in your tile image. Also, you're going to have your email address that will show up, and it will actually give you notifications if you have a Marco Polo you haven't watched in a while. And there's also a do not disturb button. Privacy settings. All right, in settings, under privacy settings, and this is something I suggest that you enable, is exclude me from contact activity updates. What that is if you haven't used the app in a while and one of your friends sees you starting to use it, it would actually give them a notice saying that you're starting to use it. It may be quite annoying for you, so I just suggest that you enable that. Also, always select send me fewer notifications right here. Now, if you, for whatever reason, you change your phone number, you have to make sure you change it within the app of your phone with the new number. Otherwise, you won't have access to all of your Marco Polos. Marco Polo uses your phone number as a security measure to identify you, the user, with a verified text message that you are, in fact, own that phone number. So it's really important. If you do change your phone number, you have to change it in the app before you switch. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about people. And this is how you add people in your Marco Polo. So for me, on my signature line on my email, I actually put a link to my own Marco Polo instead of my phone number. In fact, I don't want anyone calling me anymore. I want them to Marco Polo me. It's easier for me and much more beneficial for my time to not be interrupted by the phone call. Do me a video in Marco Polo. I'd love to see you. Now, you'll notice on here, this is how you find your Marco Polo link. That is the special link. So if I were to click on that, and let's say I want to send that as an email to someone, I can do this right here. And this is a special link that you can send someone that will get them on Marco Polo. In fact, send this to yourself and put this in the signature line of your email. It helps out tremendously. I also, as a little tip, put this as a text message. So if I go and create a text message, so let's find a random number that's called me lately. So here's an example. This person called me. I don't know who they are. And I sent them an automatic message that says, hey, I don't know and talk to unknown numbers. So if you want to talk to me, you can Marco Polo or text me here. You can add that as a default text message that you'd put in your feed. Last but not least, you're going to notice that you have pending invites, people that you've invited to Marco Polo. And these are people that are on other group chats with you that you could add in your own Marco Polo if you wanted to talk to them individually. But one of the things that will happen when you install the app the first time, it's actually going to show you all your contacts. And if you're not careful, you'll send all of your contacts in an invite to Marco Polo. You're not going to want to do that, okay? So please don't do that. Ignore that function and just go to straight up Marco Polo. And if a friend of yours is in Marco Polo and is a contact in your contacts of your phone, that's where you can add them. And then they'll be in your Marco Polo so you can start talking to them. So listen, this app can change your life if you use it right. If you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself right now, boy, this would be really helpful for my business. We have a course on Marco Polo on how to use it for your business. You may not know this, but 80% of an entrepreneur's day is working in communication. It's email, it's text, it's phone, it's all of the different methods of communications that exist. For the last 2 years, I've been using Marco Polo and it has done wonders for my business, but better yet, it's given me an extra week a month in productivity. Not for just me, but my entire team, and better yet, more time with family. Please join me and see my course and see how you can get some time back. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Now, if there was a feature in the video that we missed, man, I'm sorry. Make a comment and we'll redo the video so we can get all the features on this channel. Also, subscribe to this channel, because this is how you're going to teach your team how to communicate more effectively. Now, I will make a warning for you. If you start using it for your business and you don't sit down and think about how you're going to use it for your business, you're going to make the same mistakes I did. So I've even had people quit over using Marco Polo. But I teach a course on everything you need to know about organizing it so it works in your business and not becomes a pain point for your business. So anyway, visit us at shiftyourtime.com. Thanks again.